Well, years ago, I don't know if I talked about this in a past episode, but I had a feeling if they do bring Gisele back, it's because Wonder Woman, the sequel or sequels would flop. Or the DC Universe, movieverse would be over. And that ended up happening. Now, it was spoiled, thanks to a lot of news outlets, that Gisele returned. She did appear in a test screening back in December. That wasn't really a spoiler, though, because they said either we'll use that or not. So I was like, it's up in the air. Okay. So, let's talk about how Gisele returned. And another possible plot hole. Because at the end of 6, Dom, he gets in the vehicle. Him and Owen are fighting over the briefcase. And Owen, also in the front seat, gets pitched out through the window onto the runway. And he's in a coma for a while. And then we see him again in Fate. And it's like, he's moving around just fine. He still has a scarring in that, but he's like not missing any limbs or anything. You figure, when you really pay attention to it, it's kind of brutal. Because you get chucked through a window and then you land on a runway in a moving airplane. He would have been torn to shreds. Presumably. Because they were going fast and furious. Now, Gisele, same plane. Now, her and Han, they're on the car. And she sacrifices herself to shoot one of the henchmen. And she just kind of disappears into the night. Because, again, these movies are PG-13. So we're not going to see Elena being shot in the head. We're not going to see Owen and Gisele being torn to shreds. So this is where the plot hole comes into play. So after the events of 6, obviously Owen's body is recovered. He's not walking off into the sunset. So what do you want to bet? Gisele, her body was recovered. Unless she was just fine. What do you want to bet that Ideon got a hold of her body? Again, Mr. Nobody is still a mystery. That is a great plot device. Because it's a great mystery. Because nobody knows what's going on with Mr. Nobody. He's so likable. But if he has ties to Ideon, if he's the director, and he's like, that body, we'll take it. They enhance her. Dante knows about her. Uses her to infiltrate the family. But then it's like, well, what about Cypher? Because clearly she had a small window to get a hold of Gisele. But how did she know which black site prison she was going to? I don't even know if there's more than one, but... And she didn't know, when they were getting out exactly. So, there's just a lot of stuff going on that doesn't make sense. And honestly, with Gisele, I was like, okay. But now if Han's dead in the plane crash, she's back. It's like, what are we doing? Because years ago, after 7 came out, right before 8 came out, I told Anna Lucia, she was a guest on the podcast, I'd messaged her and said, I think I'm going to stop doing episodes because I think the franchise died with Paul. Fate hadn't even come out yet, but I was just like, so brokenhearted over it. But again, I'm such a fanatic. So it's like, of course I'm going to watch a movie. But it's just stuff. It gets so confusing. Because plot holes versus potholes, It's like if you had to pick, a plot hole lasts forever. If you don't do anything about it. So let's just say Gisele, she survived. They didn't recover her body, but Hobbs would get that information, relay it to Dom. So that option is out. Body recovered by Ideon. That's what I'm leaning towards. And her and Cypher, how they know each other, who knows. Mr. Nobody could have kept her secret, much like Han. Well, we know that Gisele was not a hologram in 6 at the end on the plane runway, because she interacted with things and with people. So that I'm ruling out. But she looked fine. Again, not missing any limbs, no facial scarring. And it has to be Ideon. It has to be. Yes, your body can heal, but look what happened to Owen. I mean, he's lucky his head was still attached. Just going through that window, oh, that alone, it's like, oof. But let me know what you think. How did she survive? Is it a clone? Did Mr. Nobody keep her a secret? Was she rebuilt by Ideon? I'm curious what you think. Again, hit me up on social media at Ron Jammin, or leave a voice message. But this is just getting to be too much. And to bring her back and then, kill off Han. I'd love for them to walk, off into the sunset in 11, but I just don't know. I don't know, it's more fitting and more sad for the story, because when we see Han, saying, we had dreams, we had plans, it's more fitting for the story and more sad. And it's just like, leave it alone. But hopefully, continuity-wise, everything will line up, no plot holes.